Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines we have for you. The next bull cycle, make way for $10 trillion. We got Fidelity, Valkyrie, SEC-Gary, Gensler. Are they preparing for the launch of spot Bitcoin ETFs? We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, it's $1.68 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 1.5%. 42,500 plus right now for Bitcoin. $2,259 and change for Ethereum. Tether market cap is $90.9 billion plus. Pretty sure that's an all-time high. Number 5 spot for XRP is 62 cents, off by 0.6 on the 24-hour, off by 4.5 on the 7-day. Let's look at the range of price very quickly. Ranging between 0.6150 on the bottom and 0.6436 on top. We'll keep an eye on it. Ladies and gentlemen, is linked to the best private equity you can buy in the world with the most affordable minimums. If you don't believe me, do what the other over 500,000 people have done and just sign up and register and get started. It literally is that simple. You won't believe it. And I tell you, the stuff does not last long on the platform, so do not mess around and take advantage of that opportunity. Click the link underneath the video to my sponsor. Look right here. Ledger exploit drained $484,000. Upended here. It says DeFi, former staffer linked to the malicious code. Oh, well, isn't that fancy? You know, there's so much going on here with Ledger here lately. It is just getting very, very hard to know which way to go here. I mean, obviously, I think the way to go is to start looking for another option. But you know what the scary part about all of this is for me? Is that being in this space, you go to the next thing and then the next thing and the next thing, because it constantly keeps changing what's truly safe, what our perception of custody, cold storage, or otherwise is actually safe for us, right? And that is really, you know, again, I've said this multiple times on the channel, you know, custody is the foundation of a really, truly regulated, healthy market, right? And this has to be resolved. You know, I mean, Ledger's the example here, but custody itself has to be resolved. We need to get to a place where not only you could have custody, self-custody, and it be very safe and not hackable, but we need to get to a place too where I want some of this traditional market mirrored structure where I can be somewhere with custody and have insurance. So, you know, it's coming. I do believe that, and I think we're going to see evidence of that in today's video. Tether, the Tether killer. It says a true stablecoin would enhance banking and crypto. A U.S. dollar pegged stablecoin backed only by cash in a bank could help expand the money supply without causing inflation and improve the banking sector. Attorney Daniel Wheeler argued. Well, you know, this is what I've been saying. Everybody makes the cliche comment, oh, you know, stable coins, it's the on and off ramp. We need them. It's like, yes, we do. And that is very obvious and it's very true. But a deeper look into stable coins and true legislation that allows them to be used by banks and other players in the institutional world and finance world will absolutely change banking the day that it happens. Because you're talking about instantly taking banking with the legislation that allows it 24/7, 365. They've never been that. Then you have even the larger implication. All these dollars floating around the world, if each bank creates their own stable coin, you just created a reason to grab those dollars and lock those dollars up because you got to be 1-to-1 or a surplus. So, you know, that's why I'm really leaning in that we will get some kind of stablecoin legislation, hopefully by early next year. Here's an idea about commodity-backed stablecoins. I'm not going to play the entire clip, but listen to this as gold is the example of a commodity-backed stablecoin here.
That in the market today, there are commodity-backed stablecoins. So in the absence of regulation by the federal government, the New York Department of Financial Services, for example, has recognized commodity-backed stablecoins. And commodity-backed stablecoins, to be clear, are a little different than what we think of as dollar-denominated stablecoins. So if you had a commodity-backed stablecoin backed by gold, it's stable because the value of it represents 1 ounce of gold. In the case of New York Department of Financial Services, they regulate a commodity-backed stablecoin backed by gold, and they have the entity offering it has physical custody of gold that is audited in conformance with the process laid out by this bill. And so I hope that we can get there.
So essentially, they're trying to introduce the possibility of an amendment to H.R. 4766, the Stablecoin Act of 2023, to include a definition for commodity-backed stablecoins. Again, as I say, this stuff can unfold very quickly. You know, Congress doesn't do anything until all of a sudden they do something right in the 11th hour, and then they move very quickly. But I want you to listen to this about how it wasn't always this way. Now, this is a former Treasury official, Mandikar here, and you're going to hear her talk about, and Jeremy Allaire from Circle, shout out to both of them, about how the U.S. in the early days and onset of this space was actually the first ones to come out and regulate this space until we got you-know-who. Take a listen.
Actually, when we were, I think we've sort of overcomplicated that problem. When I was at Treasury, I started in 2017. FinCEN had already 2013. They said if
I couldn't start my company without that regulation.
Exactly. I mean, it was Jen Calvary at the time who was
I testified next to her to the Senate.
Oh, you did? Yeah. Oh, nice. So Jen said, "Look, it looks like you're involved in money transmittal. It looks like you all look like money service businesses to me. So you have to build out financial crimes programs, et cetera." And then I came in 2017 and I saw, look, there are really only 3 countries at the time in the world that had the kind of regulation that we had. It was the U.S., it was Japan, and Australia. So we were ahead at the time.
I tell people that like the U.S. is like, I was like, actually, no. The U.S. was the very first country in the world to regulate intermediaries in the space. And literally, I could not have, I have a funny story. I'll just quick tangent, which is that when I was putting together the company and I had Jim Breyer and Excel and others wanted to invest, I used my own money to hire Promontory Financial Group to due diligence with the Treasury Department as to like, if I build what I'm trying to build, like, can I do it? Is it legal? Like, or is this just going to be like money down the drain? And, but I did that because I wanted to get a strong point of view from a regulatory perspective, and you know, got very clear indications like, no, you could do this. You just, here's what it takes. And so it's like, okay, this is going to be very expensive and a big investment, but like we want to be kind of compliance first. And so, but the U.S. had that framework.
We had.
You know, it's interesting when he mentions Promontory Group, Financial Group, because really that is a really 3-letter agency-backed think tank, right? And this is why I constantly lean in and believe, like, you know, I think Jeremy Allaire went about it the right way, to go through the right channels, to be at the very least, considered to be a retail digital dollar for the United States. We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, Valkyrie's co-founder talks about meetings with the SEC. Is the spot Bitcoin ETF already being negotiated for approval? Take a listen to this quick clip.
On that, memos released late last month revealed that the SEC met with asset managers BlackRock and Grayscale ahead of that much anticipated decision over a potential spot Bitcoin ETF. So I'm wondering, what does that signal to you? And did you have any meetings with the SEC recently on the topic?
Yeah, I mean, we speak with the staff all the time. And
about a spot Bitcoin ETF?
Sometimes, as well as others.
In recent weeks?
Well, you know, I'm not going to really comment on our direct conversations with the staff, but what I will say is this. What the staff is trying to do right now is to make sure that markets function effectively and that all disclosures are in the filings before they launch. And those are 2 very important functions in the SEC. And I will say that I believe they're moving very quickly. They're being very thorough. There's a lot of speculation on when this will launch. My answer is going to be sometime after January 2nd and when they are ready. And but I think that we'll get there soon.
And there you have it. And listen, this is a reminder. I played this clip, and I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I want you to just take a listen to the clip. This is a guy that used to work in Wall Street. Take a listen.
I think that the crypto world that I'm now a part of doesn't really understand the scale of these ETFs and doesn't understand the kind of the wall of money that potentially could be coming into Bitcoin. And just to give you a number, I asked a friend of mine who's in crypto, who's pretty active, wrote a couple books on Bitcoin, is pretty active in the podcasting, Mark Jeffrey. I said, Mark, what would you estimate the size of the global ETF market? And he's like, I don't know, $1 trillion. I said, what if I told you there's $10 trillion of ETFs? So
$10 trillion of ETFs. And that grew from a very short time ago, back in like 2000, mid 2000s, something like that, early 2000s. So now we see Fidelity, which we knew had filed for a spot Bitcoin ETF. But take a listen to this tweet. Adam says here, I just spoke with a Fidelity employee, and they told me they expect direct crypto product to be offered to their employer customers in conjunction with their 401k product. Presumably, it will be offered inside of a 401k upon the discretion of the employer. Estimated Q1 2024. Huh. This is the mainstream adoption that we're looking for, but Bitcoin has been turned into an investment product, right? That's what we know by at least Wall Street's measure. So we're going to stay tuned and see what the regulator does with the approval. But again, coming back to custody and the issue we opened this video up with here, think of this. This is Medico. There are a few regulated exchanges in the world. How can institutions at the moment invest and be secure that their wallet doesn't go bust like FTX? It's such a great point. This is exactly why I talk about custody and qualified custodians and the measures that really need to be in place.
But there are very few regulated exchanges on the world. So how can institutions at the moment invest and be secure that their wallet doesn't go busted like FTX or any other, bad thing we had in the past?
It's such a great point. And, look, and you guys know that iTrust is a sponsor, and you guys know I use iTrust. As a retail investor, if you're looking for institutional grade custody, you can get it at iTrust. You open an IRA, and they, by default, by the framework of that company being built within regulatory framework, you will get your assets put in a institutional custody level custodian. That's what they do. So that's really something to consider when you think about where we're at in this market that is it's so volatile right now in every single way. All right, now let's take a listen to this clip here as if it was a preparation for something happening next year. Take a listen to this clip from the same webinar.
But since a few weeks, 2 months, the deal flow has started again. So it means conversations that were on hold are resuming. People who didn't want to, even talk, come back to us accounts. So that's the first thing. The second one is that we see globally, and it varies across regions, financial market participants setting up teams for real. So there's a new wave, like now the whole infrastructure is ready for them. So from custody to risk management tools, people selling data like we do, market access, etc. And there's a wave of them getting ready for next year. So Philip, 23, meaning that this we see it today, as if it was a preparation for something happening next year.
And this does align because look, you're going to hear Gary Gensler even lean in to the idea of a spot Bitcoin ETF about to be approved. Take a listen to this clip here.
Approval process going for a spot Bitcoin ETF. I know you're facing a window in early January. What does that look like?
Well, Sarah, we have, I think it's between 8 and a dozen filings. I'm a chair of a commission. I'm not to prejudge anything, so that's going through the process right now. And as you might know, We had in the past denied a number of these applications, but the courts here in the District of Columbia weighed in on that. And so we're taking a new look at this based upon those court rulings.
So there you have it. That's why they're taking a look at this, because basically they've not been doing well in the court cases they've taken up. That's what we're talking about. Now, could they still pull some kind of last-minute delay or try to stop it? It is Gary Gensler, so we can't take anything off the table. But before we get out of here, let's take a look at this, because this is Dark Defender. Dark Defender says here, I can feel the frustration in most of you about why XRP is not moving, but the rest, well, it's always the case. XRP moves the last. I know people ran out of patience. On the other hand, when we check the leading indicators in the monthly time frame, such as wave trend, RSI, they favor XRP uptrend. We looked over 66 cents and want to inform you that XRP must break here and stay above at least 2 days. My expectation is that it will continue proceeding with the second resistance. The ETFs are coming and everything looks ready for XRP. I don't see any reason for XRP to have low performance. I will keep my patience and continue to update you with the changes. I hope you have a great day, and we hope Dark Defender has a great day as well. We're going to keep an eye on it. You can see it all right here. This is where we're sitting. There's a resistance minor, right? And you can see where the relative strength index is there. There's some room to bump up here, right? You can see it all right there. So we'll keep an eye on it. Right now we're going into the freedom zone where you're not going to believe it. The World Evil Forum, ladies and gentlemen, they're at it again, and I tell you, you're not going to believe it. I hope you'll join us. Click the link, digperspectives.com, underneath the video, or just type it in your search bar, digperspectives.com, and join us in the Freedom Zone for almost next to nothing. We'll see you on the inside. Not financial advice from me or anyone else.